Sons of God, daughters of men. Long before man's creation, angels were created. Yet sin was unknown until Adam's day. The beginning of sin, according to the Bible, was in the Garden of Eden. Lucifer, an angel of very high rank, had long cherished in his heart ambitious designs. If opportunity ever offered, he would show God and the angels his grand scheme. His thought is expressed by the prophet: I would ascend above the stars, angels. I would be as the Most High, an emperor. When Lucifer beheld the first human pair, he was tempted to try his experiment. They were a new order of beings in God's moral image. They had procreative powers which no angel possessed. Their offspring filling the earth would be his subjects, through whom he would work out his ambitious schemes. Thus Lucifer became Satan, God's opponent. All the holy angels were bewildered. His was the first rebellion against the Almighty's laws. No punishment followed, and the angels queried whether or not God was able to enforce his laws. Centuries rolled on. The human family was wasting. God's penalty, dying thou shalt die, was gradually being enforced. Satan realized that his kingdom of dying subjects would make but a poor showing ever. He conceived a plan to outwit God and develop a new order of beings, hybridized humans infused with superior vitality. The angels possessed a God-given power of materialization. They could appear in human bodies resembling those of men. The Bible attests this. The angels were permitted contact with the fallen race to prove whether they could bring mankind back to God. The record of Genesis is that the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair, and they took unto themselves wives of all they preferred. Thus the angels became the fathers of a new race, distinct from Adam. The record is that these were giants, physically and intellectually, men of renown who filled the earth with violence. While the ark was preparing, the disloyal course of the angels apparently continued for centuries without any outward manifestation of God's ability to check them. Thus all the holy angels were tested, and all who chose were disobedient in the days of Noah. Noah's family was singled out as exceptional in the statement, "Now Noah was perfect in his generation," implying that few or no others were perfectly generated of pure Adamic stock. Noah's family, therefore, included all the uncontaminated, only 8 persons. They, by divine command, built the ark, and thus witnessed to the world the divine intention respecting a deluge. Noah's message respecting a divine judgment by a deluge seemed ridiculous. Until the deluge, there was no rain. The last of the great rings which then flooded the earth was of pure water. For centuries it was spread out over the firmament. The whole earth was a great hothouse. There were practically no changes of seasons nor storms, because the great water canopy preserved it in perpetual summer. Of that period we read, "For as yet there was no rain on the earth." Noah, the preacher of righteousness, was mocked and considered a fool because of his faith in God's word, just as others of the Lord's people at various times have been mocked by those who lack faith and are yet mocked. Finally, the deluge came. The fountains of the great deep canopy were broken up. The breaking of the canopy precipitated millions of tons of water at both poles, forming 2 great tidal waves, covering the earth for a great depth, deepening the ocean bed, and throwing up additional mountains. The cradle of the world is supposed to have been in Armenia. Geology tells us that the land of that vicinity was at one time a quiet, settling pond, as evidenced by heavy alluvial deposits. In this vicinity the ark floated, and by divine protection landed on Mount Ararat its precious freight for the world's new star.